Hey guys.
Yeah.
Hey Karen, how are you?
Well, how are you, Mike?
Great.
Can you give us any updates on player statuses, please?
Yeah, Harold Landry will be questionable. Christian Gonzalez will be questionable, and Terrell Jennings will be questionable.
Um, with respect to Harold, is it just kind of a continuation of this knee problem he's been battling pretty much all year?
Yeah, and we're just trying to do everything we can and give him enough time to, to see how it feels for Sunday.
What do you remember about your pre-draft evaluation of Jamie Campbell?
I liked it a lot. That's Matt. I've known Matt Campbell for a long time, and some of the coaches at Iowa State, they spoke highly of both him and um, Jalen Noel. Long, athletic, productive, really good catch radius, and willing to block. Those are all the same things that you see from his tape now. And the more he plays, I think the better he's gotten.
Like about Jelani winning the block coverage award.
Yeah, I'm always excited for those guys that go through some adversity and persevere, and just going back to the off season, not being able to fully participate in the OTAs and training camp, and with a new staff, guys are conscious of that, especially veterans like Jelani. They're conscious of a new staff and want to give the best showing that they possibly can. Wasn't able to do that. Stay engaged. Was a great leader. Started the season on IR, and just a lot of different things that he battled on the field, off the field, and remained a great teammate, focused, and has helped us. And his versatility is really shown here in the second half of the season.
How big is that Tyrus comeback?
Well, you guys speak up. I'm sorry, I didn't.
How big is that Tonga comeback?
We'll find out on Sunday. I mean, it's great to have him practice, but what matters is what it's going to be on Sunday at 3. And I would say that hopefully he could pick up where he left off, and his production and what he was able to do and how he helped us inside there as a interior rotational player, Milt and Christian, and playing all those guys. Corey's helped us, and but that's what this league's about. It's about taking advantage of opportunities, getting an opportunity. When Tonga wasn't out there, that meant more snaps for Corey, and in this case Leonard and Eric, and those guys all I feel like improved not only that but took advantage of their opportunity. So it'll be good to add Tonga back into that.
I know that as we sit here right now, Nico Collins question mark going into this game, but what stands out for you about that group of receivers?
Well, they're not not afraid to go inside. They run a lot of inside breaking routes in their play action. They all block. I think they have a great mixture. Hutchison has got a combo platter. Kirk's played at a high level for a lot of years. A lot of inside slot production, and not just option routes, stuff down the field, the vertical stuff down the field. The rookies that you alluded to, Higgins and Noel, or we were talking about earlier. I think it's a good complementary group. I've played against some of those guys before, and what Nico's done, and go back to his pre-draft visit and meeting with him and watching his growth as a pro, and he's a very good player.
Mike, when you made the adjustment from or the transition from playing to coaching, how much was it a challenge for you to give up the control on game day? That you didn't really have the control being out on the field. How did you handle that?
That wasn't. I didn't miss that. I just had to learn how to not drive yourself crazy, obsessing over, the players. You have to be confident enough that you've helped them get to the game and prepared them and done everything that you can to put them in a position to be successful. But every coach, wants their, position group to do well, and that they put a lot of time into it, and want the players to do well for their own personal success. So they care a lot about them. So, you just have to manage, I think, the emotions of being invested, highly invested, but sometimes not having the best
Mike,
outcome.
I'm sorry. Given the strength of the Texans defense, I've heard some of the pundits, former players say the Patriots almost have to be perfect on Sunday. Is there pressure on your guys to be perfect in terms of not turning the ball over?
No, man, we want to try to be as precise as possible. We haven't talked one time about being perfect since I've been here. We're aiming for success and not perfection. Nobody's going to be perfect. We're going to need to be precise. We know how critical taking care of the football is in every game, especially against a team that's plus 16 in the turnover margin. But I've never once said that we have to be perfect at anything.
When it comes to Will's unique role in the Friday meetings, how did that come about, and how have you sort of seen him?
He's gotten a lot better. I told him after today he's going to be really good next year. How'd that come about? That came about because I wanted to add a little spice of life to my Friday meeting and my Friday tape. And so we came up with the weekend update.
Mike, some coaches have the philosophy about it's just a game and we'll not talk about circumstances. Why, for you, do you embrace the circumstances and embrace it with your team?
Well, you only get so many opportunities being in this position. I talked about being in the AFC Championship game as a rookie in 1997 and not going back there, in my time in Pittsburgh for the next 3 years. So we didn't make the playoffs. So things change quickly. Every season is unique, and we should embrace the one we have, and especially since a lot of us weren't involved in this a year ago.
Mike, how do you manage the emotions of the team as you continue to progress throughout the playoffs?
Not much to manage. I want them to be as emotional as they can, and find some joy in playing and competing and practicing. Not doing anything, making great decisions after the whistle. I know it's going to be a hotly contested battle. That's what the NFL football is about. And it's about, doing it each and every snap and then coming back to the huddle. So if I have to manage emotions, it'll be, to hopefully calm them down during the game and go from there. But I want everybody to have their own emotion and be ready for the game however they see fit.
What is it like to have Teddy Bruschi back at practice yesterday, and you guys had a chance to catch up at all?
Not a ton. I mean, I have a job to do during practice, and it's not to stand and talk to Teddy. If I want to talk to him, I can call him. But, I think it was just great that anytime, and we've had a lot of former players come around here, a lot of former teammates of mine, and I love that they want to be around, and glad that they're excited. Teddy's certainly done a lot to build this culture and this brand and this organization. So to be able to have him here to cover any of our players, our football team, and then also to be here on a personal side is always welcome.
Mike, when you think back to your time in Houston as an assistant coach, what comes to mind?
Great organization, Mr. and Mrs. McNair, very welcoming to the families and to my kids and the training camp and things like that. So first of all, I would say that, it's my first opportunity in NFL football and pro football. A lot of great guys to coach on that team and defense. And I really enjoyed the 4 years in Houston. I did. Just one stop on a journey. So great organization, great town.
When it comes to Alex Austin and Terrell, do you see maybe activating either of them this week?
Yeah, we'll kind of see where they are tomorrow, see where they're on the roster. I think that's, something that could happen. And again, when you're at 52, you have some space, and but if you get over 53, then somebody's got to go, and we'll just see where we're at tomorrow.
Mike, in your experience, or maybe coaching or playing, when you're dealing with a pass rush like Houston's, is there anything more effective to kind of wear on guys in a steady, effective run game?
Well, that would be a good place to start. They can't rush the run, but there it's an attacking front. That's an attacking style, and just by trying to run the ball doesn't guarantee anything. You have to stay balanced and use it multiple. Whether it's movement passes, quick game, get the ball out. You have to do different things and run the ball, and that's all part of what we've done throughout the season. So continue to stay balanced, and you just can't get in a steady game of drop back passes and try to do that 40 times a game.
Mike, in recent weeks, you've faced guys that are in their safeties in name: Kyle Hamilton, Derwin James, Jalen Pitre. What kind of challenges do those guys present? And then are there certain guys where you're like, well, we'd rather be in base and have them back at free safety than in the slot or in the box?
Yeah, maybe. I think probably what you see out of those players that you mentioned is just the versatility of that position that you're starting to see where they can, fit in the run game. They can blitz, they pressure, they disguise well, and then when they're asked to match up in coverage, they do that. So, but there, sometimes teams will just go ahead and play nickel, to certain packages. So, we'll have to see what their plan is against different personnel groups and whether they want to play substituted defense or they want to stay in base.
You mentioned how some of these players haven't been in this position before. I'm curious, are you leaning on, or have you noticed any of the veterans in the room who have maybe had some more experience in the playoffs step up?
Well, I thought we've had great leadership throughout this season. And, guys like Morgan Moses and Garrett in each position room. And, whether it's Milt in the defensive line room. And, just each position group has its own group of guys. And so, if we can continue to get those guys in those rooms to reach out to 3 or 4 people and make connections, then we have a chance to reach the whole team. So, like we said all along, we don't put restrictions on leadership. Anybody that's, that can help us, regardless of age or status, if they can help us lead and help somebody else, we're all in favor of it. Have a great Friday.
Thank you.